How's everybody doing? Just want to do a quick video to talk a little bit. Matter of fact, that light's gonna probably kill us here. So let me turn this over here. To talk a little bit about the Evertune bridge system. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I've heard a lot of things from people about the Evertune bridge and how it can't do this, it can't do that, or you know, I don't like it because of this or that. I'm gonna debunk all that stuff right now, okay? I'm gonna give you the truth. First thing, I want to talk a little bit about the advantages of the Evertune bridge. Now, this bridge has really saved my life. And I can tune a guitar. It's not because I can't tune a guitar. And after I'm done explaining this, you're going to see why. Okay? The first thing is, I'm a very aggressive player. I press hard on the strings. And you can press a note out of tune. And I do that all the time. Like if I'm playing a chord, you know, I can press it right out of tune. You know? And I'm going to demonstrate how you can do it. I'm going to get it above the, which I'll explain in a second here. But hear that? I'm not even bending. I'm only pressing. So if you press too hard, you can press a note out of tune. Let me put that back. Okay. Now with the Evertune bridge, I'm going to show you or tell you a little bit how it works. Okay. There's no, you know, batteries or, you know, it's nothing electrical at all. It's just, it's like a seesaw, okay? And if you picture the seesaw like this, and I can turn my hand, you can see it. There's a top and there's a bottom, okay? And there's a lot of in between. So wherever, I could be turning the peg, and as long as I'm in between the top and bottom, that note's not gonna go out of pitch. But if I keep turning the tuning peg and it tops out, if I turn it again, then the string will stretch and it'll increase the tone, okay, and increase the pitch. Same as if I down tune the string with the tuning peg. Once it hits the bottom, it'll detune. Okay, but if you're in between there, it's staying at that tension and at that pitch, okay? What you can do with the Evertune bridge, that's really cool, and not a lot of people talk about this. They talk about how it keeps your guitar in tune, great, but this is the big advantage for me, is I tune it all the way to the top, okay? When you start to hear it go out of tune, like for instance, I'll show you, okay? I'm going to turn the tuning peg. Hear it starting to go out of pitch. That means I've hit the top end, okay? Now I'll back it off. So it's in tune, then a little bit more, okay? That lets me, no matter how hard I press that string, I'm still in tune. But because I'm just backed off a little bit, I can still bend. Okay, I can still bend the string. And tremolo, but my finger pressure will not affect the chord. And that's what I love about the Evertune bridge, okay? So I just debunked a myth there. I got a list here actually. Okay, the chords stay in tune no matter the finger pressure. I just showed you that. Yes, you can bend. That's number 2. Okay? The biggest, this is probably, the next 2 are probably the biggest things that probably keep a lot of people away from Evertune. Okay? People say, look at the wood that was cut out of this guitar. And I'll take it off here for a second. And there is, it's a pretty good size, you know, hole here that they take it, that they, you know, they took wood out of, okay, to put the metal in there. And some people say, and there was a guy, I'm not going to mention his name, but I actually asked him at a workshop, and he said that's one of the reasons why he doesn't play or have Evertune put in, is because he feels he lost a lot of top-end tone. Maybe he did, I don't know. But all I know is, you know, this came stock in it. So people could say, well, you don't really know because this came in it. How do you know what it sounded like before? I don't. But I do have a guitar, the Gibson Explorer, Bill Kelleher. If you look in my videos, you will see a video review on that guitar where I've played it before and after the Evertune install. And I have not noticed a tone difference. Matter of fact, I thought it sounded a little better when I got it back. That's just me, you know. So to me, it did make a difference. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is there's a lot of professional players who use Evertune bridge. A lot of professional musicians, guitar players. The main reason is, you know, they'll go from like the UK to the USA and back and forth and stuff. And no matter the temperature or humidity levels, your guitar is going to stay in tune. I hear all the time how people say, you know, I went on a UK tour. When I came home, my guitars got back. I didn't even have to put a tuner on them. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of people probably will not believe me, but I have a Fender Baja Telly as well with Evertune. And I purchased it, let me think when it was. I think it was like April or May of 2013, okay? Before this music room was even built, we got a new house where I had a little sound room put in for myself. And we were actually living in the other part of the house while this addition was being built. So this wasn't even here. It was 2013, okay? When I bought the guitar, the guy calls me, he says, oh no, because I bought it online. I said, what? He said, there's a little ding, and I'll show it to you at some point, but he said there's a little ding in it, and he showed me a picture, and it was like right in, say this area, between the two knobs. Just a little nick, you could barely see it. And he didn't think I was going to take the guitar. I ended up taking it. He knocked like 25 bucks off it, and he set it up with my string, which I love, Elixir Polyweb. Thank you, Scott Grove. That's another thing that saved me too. I absolutely love Elixir strings, Polywebs. But anyway, so they set it up with Elixir 9s, and they knocked like 25 bucks off. I didn't really care. I wanted the guitar. I wanted the Telly. This one had the Evertune already on it. It's the Baja, which it's a beautiful guitar. I'll actually demo that too. So I get the guitar, and I've played it, well, what, 2 years? It's been over 2 years now. I play it every week. I mean, I'm not a professional musician. I don't go out and gig every day or every other day. I play maybe a couple hours a week. I'll play on it, sometimes more, sometimes less. I have never changed the strings on that guitar because it doesn't need the string. It doesn't need the strings changed on it, and I've never put a tuner on it, ever, and it's in perfect tune. How can I tell? Well, because I've played along to other music and I know it's in tune. That's 2 years, folks. Evertune. I mean, there'd be times I would sit here with my other guitars, and I would try to, you know, I'd get them in tune, then you play it up, and then you gotta stop, put the tuner on it. It's such a pain in the neck. I mean, I know it's probably not a big deal for the tuner, but I want to play. I don't want to mess around with a tuner and all that stuff. And then with the Elixir Polyweb strings, you know, I don't have to change strings all that often either. And I've never broke a Polyweb string, ever. Never, which is incredible, because I used to break a lot of strings too with my aggressive playing. But anyway, that's that part, how it stays in tune no matter what the temperature, humidity. There is some disadvantages, though, that I'm going to talk about right now. The first one, this is the biggest one, in my opinion. The absolute biggest disadvantage, and to me it don't matter, because I play in 440 standard tuning anyway, is doing alternate tunings is a pain, okay? I took an online guitar lesson with Bruce Kulick, I'd say about a year ago or so. Was it about a year ago? I think so. And, you know, I wanted him to show me how to play deuce. I knew how to play, you know, a lot of it, but I just wanted to kind of... How the heck did that go? No, I forgot how to play it. But I wanted him to show me, you know, the chromatic, but... that part there, and some of the solos. And he said in the email, he said, hey, Peter, make sure you're a half step down. I went, oh no, because Kiss really, they play live a half step down, and the Alive is a half step down. A lot of their songs are even recorded a half step down. So I sat in here, and I really wanted to use this, the ESP. So let me actually move this back a little. I actually wanted to use this, so I sat in here with the tuner, and it took me 20 minutes to get half step down. I mean, it's maybe somebody out there, it might not take as long, but it was such a pain in the neck. And I didn't even bother, because, you know, when you tune that down, really you have to adjust your intonation too, because, you know, everything changes when you drop it down. I didn't even bother with the intonation. I said, you know what, I'm going to put it right back as soon as I'm done with this lesson. So, yeah, that's the biggest disadvantage of this guitar, is if you're a person who likes to drop that E down to D and do like open G tuning on this song and then regular tuning on that song, that type of stuff, you're not going to be happy with the Evertune, to be quite honest with you. Unless you have two of them, and then, you know, you can do alternate tunings with it. Don't mistake me on that. But if it were I would own a couple of guitars, have this one tuned to, you know, the alternate tuning, and then standard tuning with another, or whatever you use. That'd be about the only way you could do it. Now, there is a version 2. I've talked to Cosmos Lyles at Evertune. I don't know if it's going to have any advantages with that, but it is going to have the Floyd Rose and for acoustic as well, which I'm pretty excited about. But the one thing I will say, I asked Cosmos Lyles, if the if I could change this out for the version 2, and he's like, no, you can't retrofit. If you've already got the version 1, the version 2 is smaller, okay, which is going to be something I'm going to talk about here in a second. So you're not going to be able to retrofit the new one into the old one, okay? So let's move on here. There's no Floyd Rose. If you're a guy or girl who likes Floyd Rose, likes that whammy bar, you know, it's not available now. It is going to be on version 2, but it's not on, currently they don't have it available, okay? The other thing, this is another thing too, and I've heard this, to me, it doesn't matter, I mean, but to others, I've heard them say, well, it's kind of big, and why'd they put that big, ugly Evertune logo there? I mean, it's not an ugly logo, but I mean, if you got a Gibson or something, you don't want, like, you know, Evertune there. But to me, I don't care. I absolutely love Evertune. I'm proud I have Evertune on my guitar. So, you know what? Put it on there. I don't care. However, would I put this on a 1959 Les Paul? No. No, I wouldn't. Would I put it on a reissue? Heck yeah, sure. So it has its place, okay? I will say that, you know, any guitar I play live is going to have an Evertune on it. You know, or any guitar I play, period, actually, is going to have an Evertune on it. The last guitar I had that did not have an Evertune on it was a Godin LGXT AA maple. Beautiful guitar, sounded great. But after playing the Evertune guitars, and I've heard Tommy Denander say the same thing, if you look it up, he has some videos on here about it too. But after playing Evertune guitars, and then going to the Godin, or to any other guitar without Evertune, I felt like it was broke. It just didn't sound good. And a lot of that's because, you know, the finger pressures. You know, you sound out of tune if you press too hard. You have to, you know, it's just so nice to be able to play without having to worry about how hard you're pressing. It's just so awesome. And I can't say anything bad about this other than those few things. You know, the alternate tunings, the Floyd Rose, which they're going to have a version out. And, you know, it is kind of big. People say it is. To me, it doesn't bother me, but people say that's a disadvantage, okay? So Evertune is awesome to me, and I'll always have Evertune on my guitars. But I hope I just debunked what a lot of people are saying about the Evertune and how you can't bend. That's the biggest one. And, you know, you can't bend, and the tone is really up to you. If you think you lost the high-end tone, or you think you lost tone, then hey, you know, I can't say any different than that. To me, I really don't hear a difference. I'm being totally honest. I really have not heard a difference. But the Evertune is flippin' awesome. So I would recommend, if you're struggling and hate tuning your guitar all the time, and you have a real sensitive ear to tuning, which I do. I have a really sensitive ear to tuning. That I would recommend that you go out and get in, you know. And this is a beautiful guitar too. This comes with Evertune on. I've seen some used ones on eBay for like $700, you know. And to be honest with you, the Evertune bridge itself is $300, and to retrofit it's about another $300. So it's like, say, that's another disadvantage I could put on there, is the cost, right? It's like 600 bucks roughly if you want to retrofit it, depending on who you use. But you can buy this guitar right now on eBay, okay? I've seen them. You know, maybe I don't know when you're watching this video, but you can go search ESP MH1000ET, okay? For around $750. No case, but $750. And like I said, it's going to cost you 600 bucks to retrofit. So, and this is a really nice guitar. This is very similar to the ESP Horizon, which I know Bruce Kulick has some beautiful Horizons, and I love the sound of them. And this sounds really good. Sounds really, even though it's LTD, it's fantastic. And I've seen Bruce play them live. Bruce Kulick plays LTDs live as well, and that says a lot. Okay, because this thing just sounds spectacular. You know? I mean, I love it. It's got the MG pickups. I'd love to have a Horizon, and I probably will at some point. A Horizon or an Eclipse. Probably another Horizon. I like the Eclipse. If you're not familiar with them, they look kind of like the Les Paul style, the single cut style. But to me, it's hard, and I think Scott Grove had some videos on the back of the guitar, on the this one a little bit too, I guess. To get up to the upper frets, they have this big old chunk here. I think Gibson copied Yamaha, who years ago had an easy access where this was kind of all thin around, like right around here, all the way in. So you could get your hand there without really, you know, struggling. But right here it's not bad because, I mean, you don't bring your hand all the way up there anyway. I kind of angle it a little once I get to a point. So this fits me very comfortably when when it comes to playing in this upper register. You know, so it's, to me it feels really good. So if you were in the market, I'd recommend one of these guitars, you know, especially. I mean, this thing will play anything from Metallica to, I've played some nice blues stuff on it. I mean, the gig that I sat in on this past weekend, I did like a Poison tune, Every Rose. I just kind of, it was just all acoustic, that one. But I did, we did Knocking on Heaven's Door at the end of the night, and it was very bluesy. You know, the neck pickup's really nice too. I actually love it. Some nice blues tones. But no, anyway, I don't want to get into too much of a guitar review, but Evertune Bridge, I highly recommend it. If you have any questions, comments, hey, post them down there. And don't forget, right over in this area, you can hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my videos. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. I'm going to try to do these videos as often as I can. Life gets in the way, though. I'm sure we're all in that same position. But I'd love to hear your comments, feedback, what you think of Evertune Bridge. Do you have an Evertune Bridge system and love it or hate it? Tell me about it. I want to hear you. I'd love for you to share that with people who are watching this video as well, with other people. So comment away, and we'll see you soon.